For the past 6 months, I have traveled the country talking to several leaders in the sustainability space to learn how I can be more sustainable and how I can use my skill set to teach that to the rest of the world. But there's something that just like sticks in the back of my mind, and that's this idea that like what we're talking about to the majority of people is really boring. Boring in a way that it's hard to get other people's attention on what we're talking about. And that really sparked this whole other journey for me on how not only can we like do something and figure out what to do, but how are we going to get it so that people are interested? And look, our team's tried. We have Woody Harrelson and Leo DiCaprio in our team. I equate it to this. Like, I work in film, and when someone brings up the 1.5 or the ice caps or the polar bears and all the stuff we all know, it's the same kind of feeling as like someone pitching their script. It's just like, okay, I have to go do literally anything else right now. And then something hit me. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop myself here because I really started rambling and I want to save you that time. What I go on to say is that I really discovered that everything in industry, in business, whether it's a problem or a solution, seems to be effective based on one common denominator: money. You get the point. From a very young age, our media teaches us that money is the most important thing, and then we spend the rest of our lives trying to figure out how to get as much of it as possible. And whether you'd like to admit it, money does control most of our lives. Coincidentally, I would say you could say it's responsible for a lot of the problems we're facing, including climate change. So then my question became very simple. How can we create a system where saving the world is actually extremely profitable? Because when it's extremely profitable, now the right people actually care. If saving the climate made people billions of dollars, we would not be in this problem. The right people would be involved. They'd be putting money in the right places, but it's always seen as this really philanthropic kind of idea. And what we need to do, and I think the way to really fix it, is to figure out how we can take this problem and turn the solution of that problem into something that is making just a ton of money. And maybe that's a thought that living in New York creates, but as far as I can tell, we don't really have the attention we need in order to do it. And so that really sent me on this journey. So with my idea in hand and a clear direction of where I wanted to go, I did what everyone does. I procrastinated a little bit, and then finally got to work. For this project, I thought the best way to test this theory would be to just sit down with a sustainable business owner, somebody who has lived what I'm talking about, and see if this argument of mine actually carries any weight. I wanted to see what their take would be on this question that I'm proposing. So in order to do this, I researched companies that were at least 50% sustainable, which, by the way, that's an entire other video I can make, and were companies that were for-profit based in the New York City area. By the way, this is not the real research session, this is a reenactment of the real research session. Although the real research session was a lot like this. Alright, moving on. And with a list in hand of both friends and cold calls, I got to work. And to be honest, I thought it was going to be easy.
Hello?
Hey, Jamie.
Hey.
James McKinney, how are you?
I'm doing well, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Listen, I'm sorry to bother you kind of out of the blue. I'm working on a documentary. But this ended up going on for a while. Hey, how's it going? This is James McKinney. I was trying to get in touch with a Mark Ronson.
The business
Mark Ronson.
of like sustainability.
Exactly what we're trying to do, and I think what we can do is it's really
Right now,
about
there's
getting
a lot going on.
the right people
like
in
financial
space, and I think that if we
sustainability
do
really
a
the way
piece,
forward when it comes
Andrew,
to
that's exactly what I'm doing.
Sarah,
Andrew,
15 minutes,
I'll come to you.
It's
It's
really
really
easy.
easy.
I'm
really
trying
trying
to
to show that, like,
And
in order
personally,
for
a lot going
exactly,
on
that's
with
exactly what I'm
life
talking
and
about. So
it's
I just
not
wanted to see if they'd
okay.
be interested.
All right, I mean, I'll give you the
Nope, I'm sorry, it just, I can't, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yep, have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
That was so mean. But as they say, if at first you don't succeed.
Hello?
Dave.
Yes.
Hey, this is James McKinney. Do you remember me by chance? I did some videos for you like last year.
James. Yeah. Hey, James. How are you?
I'm really well, man. Hey, I'm sorry to call you out of the blue like this, but I was...
You already know the pitch, so I'll spare you the conversation. But long story short, Dave is actually someone who has 2 companies in this space, but not out of any activist or moral sentimentality. It's really just about the business and the market he sees. And you might already know who Dave is if you were born around the time I was born, meaning the early 90s, and ever pretended to be slightly not feeling great so you didn't have to go to school that day. You may have watched this show.
Dave, was it easy?
Oh my God, it was minutes, man. He came back to us so quick, it was ridiculous.
Dave would go on to actually become the co-host of the Maury Povich Show, but the show really served as a launching pad for his company Vortec International, and this is what would make him his fortune. Vortec creates security solutions for everyone from elementary school kids all the way up to foreign dignitaries and diplomats. He's actually served contractually under every administration since Clinton, and has done quite a bit of work, some he can tell you and some he can't, with the Department of Defense. So as a result, he's very different from anyone I've spoken to, and I think might be the perfect person for this episode, which is exactly what I told him on the phone and got us to here.
How's noon? I can free up about a couple hours at noontime.
Noon's great. Yeah, if you're willing, like, noon's great. It'll be me and one other guy if you're willing. Okay, cool.
No problem.
All right, so I'll have my producer email you, and like we'll go from there.
All right, Jim.
All right, thank you so much. All right, talk soon. All right, bye-bye. Let's go. Let's go. Finally, he said yes. Oh my gosh. All right, I gotta call Lacie.
Lacie is my producer on this project, so extra shout out to her, because while I was very excited to interview Dave, Lacie was tasked with figuring out how to get to Dave because he does not live in New York City. One of the things that's very difficult about living in New York is that it is impossible to get anywhere quickly. So in order to get to this interview, I had to take a train, to take another train, sit on this platform for a moment, take a third train so that I could rent a car to get here. This is upstate New York, and it's actually one of my favorite places in the world. If you haven't been, I cannot recommend it enough. And so in order to go meet Dave, it's now where you find me. Just so you know, I did ask that we take a helicopter to his house, but it was $15,000 over budget. And it's also not the greenest way to get to a place. But I did ask. Twice. Anyway.
We're good? All right. I legitimately tried to call like 6 or 7 people. None of them wanted to be on camera talking about this issue. So I'm here now in upstate New York, and I'm at Dave Vitalli's house. He's made millions in the private sector, and he's moving into this space in a way that I personally have not heard before. So I'm gonna bring Dave in, and I'm just gonna let him tell you what he's doing, because he's gonna do a way better job than I ever could. All right, man, so we're just gonna start with your name.
I'm Dave Vitalli, and I'm the founder and CEO of Common Purpose.
Cool, so what was the inspiration behind finding Common Purpose?
How it all started is because of my wife actually was the one who originally came up with the idea. She's been trying to shop sustainably and green for over the last decade. Wanted to do better stuff for the planet. Do we have to do this like this?
What do you mean?
Like in this format?
We don't have, like, what other ideas do you have?
Follow me. Let's go for a drive. Let's get the hell out.
I'ma bring it back, like turn up the track, like let the bass drop.
Lacie did say I could rent a car, she just didn't say which.
About the past life,
I'm just messing around.
Dude, really?
For the record, my rental was a Kia Soul. It was fine.
Let me get jiggy, dog. We so litty, dog. We so. Let me get jiggy, dog. We so litty, dog. We so litty.
So why actually are people not willing to talk to me about what we're talking about?
It's really simple, actually, because the people that you're talking to want to do this as a philanthropy. So no one wants to look like they're making money off of climate change. It's literally a very, very simple answer. And just because of the way that this has been portrayed for the last, I don't know, 50 years, you know, the world's going to come to an end. Florida's going to disappear. The East Coast is going to disappear. Polar bears, penguins, you name it, everything's going to disappear. In the 80s, we went through the Ice Age stage on Time magazine with Florida under an iceberg with a palm tree on it. I mean, the whole problem is it's gone all over the place. And another issue is, the biggest issue I feel, politics. People politicize this. It has nothing to do with politics and all about the planet. And a lot of people don't want to fix the problems.
So what is your company then?
Common Purpose is going to be the first.
That's the name of your company, Common Purpose.
Common Purpose is the name of the company. Common Purpose is the first global e-commerce marketplace for sustainable goods and sustainable products and goods. From every brand that you know and up and coming brands that have complete sustainable lines.
So, okay, so like walk me through the difference though, because I've been on websites that do, you know, they sell sustainable whatever. So what?
Yeah, they'll sell a sustainable toothpaste and they'll sell a sustainable piece of bamboo that you can brush your teeth with. See, this is the thing, is a lot of people don't get it. Every brand that you know and that you can think of, thank you, have sustainable lines. Nike, Adidas, Puma, Brioni, LVMH, all of these companies have sustainable products, and a lot of them, but they're afraid to do it. You know that e-commerce produces over 3 billion pounds of trash a year. That's enough to go around the planet.
In like 1 year?
1 year, annually.
Just like regular,
everyday
I won't say
shopping.
the brand, but just like
everybody.
I go and I buy a thing and I.
Yep. Yep. Think about it. I want you to think every time you order something, how many packages does it come in?
I mean, like everything you're saying makes sense.
Think about logistically. You see, now this is the thing that a lot of people don't follow because they're not in it. They don't understand logistics about how many spots that everything has to go to get to its destination.
Right.
So unless you know a way to circumvent and fix this, the problem is going to persist.
Right.
It's not going to go away. Listen, I'm not going to knock Bezos for what he built. I am not going to do that. I mean, what he built is impressive. It's awesome. I mean, I got to give credit to the man. You got to give credit where credit is due.
Right.
Phenomenal. However, helping the planet was definitely not in part of that formula. I mean, I want you to understand this and think about this. All right, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to make it easier. We're going to make a logistics program. We're going to make it so people can shop, get anything they want at a touch of a button. All right, what do you mean about the planet? What do you mean we're sending 12 cardboard boxes to pick up 2 pieces? What are you talking about? No one gave a shit.
Right.
And when he was building it, and I understand that, because again, you've cried wolf for so long. This is what it all comes back to. And this is where people miss the mark. You know, everybody wants to jump on that bandwagon as long as they see a chance to make money. It all comes down to money.
So then the end of this equation is create something, or I guess what you're trying to do with Common Purpose is create something that is creating dollars, and it's almost like the side consequence is that it's helping the environment.
The good thing about this is because all of these brands, listen, there are hundreds upon hundreds of name brands that we could sit here and go through that have sustainable and green products, and they want to do better. They want to do better. They're making the products, but they're afraid they can't market it.
Right.
They can't market anything like that, because if they do, everybody's going to throw stones at them. It's going to be greenwash. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. They're petrified. So they're going to keep making it and doing their best. And the other brands that are coming up and coming brands that are doing more sustainable and green pledging, and they're actually giving a now, but they're giving because they've actually seen the market change towards it. You got blueberry muffin?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, toasted with butter.
Yep. You want one?
Toasted with butter. I love it. Toasted with butter.
That's B-U-T-T.
Yeah. You want something? People look at this and they don't realize. You know, people are like, oh, it's just shopping. It's like, well, you know what? It's just shopping. How much shopping do you think people do? I mean, I want you to think about
literally
it.
every day.
Every
I shopped
day.
yesterday, this morning.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did I. And you know, this is the thing is with a lot of people, and this is the thing for people, and this is the problem for people that want to shop sustainably and green. They get fatigued.
Right.
They get shopping fatigue because it's exhausting. What happens is it's neurological. is people don't realize that the reason why certain places do so well is because it's so simple and so easy.
Okay.
So what we did with Common Purpose is I made it easier. 80% of the U.S. alone wants to shop more sustainably, don't know how. They did $173 billion last year, as I said, in 2023.
And that's with that 80% that does.
That's not with the 80%. They left $130 billion on the table.
And I can Google that and look that up.
Look it up.
Oh my God.
Look it up.
I personally hate it when videos get really bogged down in statistics and numbers, but I do think this is an important one to show you so that you can see where Dave's coming from. First things first, according to the Business of Sustainability Index by Greenprint, 78% of those who surveyed did say they wish to support sustainable companies and companies that align with their values, but they don't know how to identify them. Moreover, a quick Google search will show about 100 different sources that tell you that $175 billion was spent on sustainably marketed products in 2023. When Dave says $130 billion was left on the table, he's accounting for the 78% of shoppers who say they want to shop sustainably but don't know how to or where to go against the $175 billion already spent. Now, I will give you this number does seem to make some assumptions, but this is not my area of expertise, and regardless, it does seem like a pretty big market.
You're not lying.
No, it would do me no good to be full of shit.
Oh my God.
All right. This is the numbers, and this is the whole
That's
thing.
actually insane. That's crazy.
This is what I'm talking about. But nobody's addressing this problem. No one's addressing
Why?
because they don't have the balls to do it.
It doesn't make
Because
sense.
you're going up against, all right, you want me to be quite candid? All right, I'm going up against the biggest companies that there are. I'm going against the biggest and the most powerful people in e-commerce on a global scale. I made sure I said nothing until all of the patents, the patent pendings on an international level were in, marked.
So
every
in other
piece
words,
of
the
marketing.
big guys can't come in and say, great idea, we have
We're
the
going to take it.
infrastructure."
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't take it. See, this is the whole thing. No matter what these big companies do, logistically, they're not set up and formulated to do what Common Purpose does, what we're going to do. Think about it. What is the old term? What is it? Buy in bulk, sell. Buy in bulk, warehouse, sell. You have to build an infrastructure. Common Purpose has to build nothing because it's already there. I'm going to a brand. I go to Nike and I go, hey, Nike, listen, what's your sales in the Northeast? What's your sale in 10001? Okay, we're making X off my sustainable products. Okay, so what if I was to tell you that I'm going to bring you over 70 more percent of the population looking to buy sustainable would buy your product.
Right.
And you have to do absolutely nothing but ship it from a place that you already
So you're
own.
literally calling and saying, how'd you like to make more money?
How you want to make more money?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
But so that, literally, this is my whole thesis around
But this is the whole thing, though, is we're a purpose, we're a cause, we're there to fight and to bring to market what you've been trying to do, and for years,
No one's been listening.
no one's listening. No one
So
listens.
now you bring money in.
Now, what we just did is we made it for a profit. Profitability will equal sustainability. This is the analogy of what I'm going to, and this is another thing is that we have to worry about is because a lot of these brands do this. Or a lot of these groups, it's again, all or nothing. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome. There's jelly on the table if you like.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you. This is the deal, is that they want to do all or nothing.
You're saying, like, people who want to shop sustainably, if it's not.
No, I'm not talking about people, not consumers. These groups, these green groups, and all of these foundations. If it's not all of it, it's not enough.
Right.
That company is trying, and they're trying to do the right thing, but your group and your foundation wants to throw rocks at it because that's how they make money. I want to make bad companies good and good companies great. We make it so it's more profitable. We're the ones that take the brunt of it.
So the market is there,
The market's monstrous, yes.
and now you're poised to take it.
Oh, we're going to take it. It's not if. We are going to
You're
take it. It
poised
is
to
my
take
market.
it, and
yes.
that's, if I'm doing my math right, $300 and something billion on the table.
Over 330
Just the
billion
US.
in the U.S. alone.
When
Big
can I
numbers.
work for you? I'll do whatever. I'm good with cameras.
You know, we'll figure something out. But this is the thing, you see how excited you are about this?
Yeah.
And we're just having a conversation.
This is what I'm talking about, right?
Everybody's passion is great. I love passion because that's what drives us all. However, if you can't make any money doing it, it's not going to last.
This is like the
conversation that we have to start having, I think, to actually make a change. And then it's like, if we're the soldiers that fall because of it,
So be it.
exactly, so be it. Dave and I talked for a few more hours about his businesses, where else he wants to go into space, and honestly, it's all pretty interesting. But what it really made me realize was, at the beginning of this video, I really said that we were missing the point, and that because we weren't bringing dollars in and making this profitable, my implication at least was that the whole point was moot. And one thing I've learned is that that's actually not the case. What we need to do is we do need the moms that are hell-bent on recycling and making sure everyone's mulching, and the small businesses that are doing it just for the morals of it. But I also think this X factor of bringing people in who honestly don't care about the planet or think it's a hoax or think it's whatever, if we can get them in because there's dollars there, at least everyone's on the team. And so the question, I think, is, do the ends justify the means? And that's really for you. I think they do, but maybe I'm wrong. So let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed this journey. Thanks so much.